sit that right there, don't go nowhere, little baby gon' shake that, 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 shit, yeah, I like that, bring that, right here, sit that, right there, don't go.
Welcome back, we back with another reaction video. Today we're reacting to a stay awake crime and psychology video. Surfer dude stumbles upon crazy murder scene. Come on, brother. I hope the surfer ain't had nothing to do with it.
Let's go, man.
The man you are looking at is undoubtedly having one of the craziest days of his life. After catching some waves at the local Foley Beach, he headed uptown to grab a drink, but suddenly stumbled upon a traumatizing scene. The aftermath of a barbaric attack that was caught entirely on video. Just minutes earlier, at 7:40 p.m., on-duty police officers at a nearby community center suddenly heard multiple gunshots ring out.
Shots fired!
As they sprinted to their vehicles, multiple 911 calls poured in to report a shooting that had taken place just miles away. The officers sped through the streets, actively receiving updates from dispatch as they rushed towards the scene. 4 minutes after hearing the gunshots ring out, the officers arrived. A crowd of bystanders had gathered around, including the victim's horrified girlfriend.
Get him off the step.
The man from the beginning of this video had already begun doing chest compressions while waiting for emergency
The
services to
surfer
arrive.
dude know how to save lives.
Hey, Randy,
Okay,
talk
stand
about
on
it again.
business.
The victim was 41-year-old Timothy Hammond Jr. His girlfriend, 29-year-old Christina Colon, also jumped in to help by giving him rescue breaths. Tim continues to cling to life, but this isn't the only priority for the first responders. A killer is still at large.
Facts.
Paramedics finally arrive, at which point the officers direct someone else to take Christina's place so they can question her about the incident.
Ma'am, I need you to help me get as much information.
Not to be that guy, but I think the surfer dude compressions was too fast. I was gonna say it at first, but hey, I'm not. Only thing I've seen, only time I've seen people do compressions is on Grey's Anatomy, brother. ER back in the day. That show was fired. So I'm not an expert, but he did look like he was doing the compressions fast as hell. Now, as soon as you see the medical professional, the medical professional pull up, you see better paced compressions. I don't think he was doing those right. I'm just saying.
We can't, so we get these guys, okay? What'd you see?
Oh, we're moving stuff in here. My daughter's in there.
Okay,
She tells the officer that a group of men had attacked him, but her panicked state makes it difficult to get any more information from her. She is determined to check on their 5-year-old daughter, Isabella, before answering any more questions.
My daughter's not getting watching. We need to make sure they're not watching. I know.
After escorting her to check on Isabella, the officers promptly continue questioning Christina.
Give me some more information about that party that you saw with the gun. Back up. Sit down here and stop. What else can you tell me about that party?
Apparently, Tim was helping her move into a new residence. While unpacking some boxes inside the home, she heard a commotion coming from outside. She rushed out to find Tim being jumped. The altercation ended rather quickly, but suddenly one of the men pulled out a gun. And as Tim attempted to retreat into the house, he was shot several times.
He basically said, "Move, I'll
So
get you." And
Tim was
shot
beating
the
their
gun.
ass.
What the good people is this?
Tim was put on a stretcher and loaded into the back of an ambulance. His condition was critical. He needed surgery immediately. However, after being transported to the hospital, he succumbed to his gunshot wounds. At 8:13 p.m., 33 minutes after he was shot, Tim was pronounced dead. Officers at the crime scene were informed and were given the difficult task of delivering the tragic news to Christina.
Going back inside the residence.
Now, this gotta be the worst part of the job.
Found out. Boyfriend is passed away.
Is he dead? He can't be dead.
Oh yeah, I'd rather get into a shootout.
Oh my God.
As heart-wrenching as Tim's death was, investigators had to keep moving forward if they wanted any kind of justice for Tim.
I'm standing on the corner of Hanover and Columbus Street. Again, a heavy police presence behind me. As you can see, police are blocking off this portion of the road with crime scene tape. It seems like it will be blocked off for a while. We know that police responded to a shooting and an adult male was transported to MUSC where he later died. Charleston police have been on the scene since then. I spoke to a veteran who was at a nearby bar. He said he came out to take a phone call and saw the man laying on the side of the road. He said he never expected something like this to happen right here.
While the evidence was being processed, investigators began canvassing the surrounding area. When speaking with the neighbors, someone brought forward a cell phone video that captured the exact moment Tim was shot. In the video, you can see that the shooter is a black male wearing a black shirt, dark-colored pants, and some sort of hat. But it's hard to distinguish any more details than that. The detectives wondered if anyone else had footage of this incident. So they asked around the neighborhood and discovered several surveillance cameras that had captured everything. Just before 7.
Well, why the hell he shoot that gun like this nigga in West Side Story? Like, brother, that's not no fucking musical. This nigga, get this sassy ass shooter out the way, bro. He said, that's that ballerina shot, right? Hey man, what's up with him? This how we shooting people now?
7:40 p.m., the shooter is seen riding his bike down Hanover Street. As he rides past Tim, who is unloading the U-Haul, the two start shouting at each other, but the audio doesn't quite pick up what they are saying.
He shot the gun, he had a bow and arrow.
The shooter makes a U-turn and approaches Tim. The situation quickly escalates into a fist fight and then into a full-on brawl. Tim versus 4 other men. Just as Christina had described, the fight is broken up. However, the suspect then slaps Christina in the face, and she loses it.
I don't know nobody from Ohio who that is, Speed.
The energy continues to escalate as Christina screams at the men. That's when the shooter pulls out his handgun.
My bad, y'all, I missed that.
The energy continues to escalate as Christina screams at the men. That's when the shooter pulls out his handgun, aims it at Tim, and shoots him 5 times. The shooter then hops on his bike and rides away in the same direction he came from. He turns off of Hanover Street onto Line Street, but as he heads towards Aiken Street, the trail of video surveillance ends there. Unfortunately, even with all of this new footage, the investigators were struggling to identify the suspect.
5 times? Hey,
the quality.
That's all the confirmation I ever needed in life. Y'all just need hands. Y'all need hands. Y'all need hands. That gun ain't doing nothing. Y'all need to learn how to bop. Because Tim, rest in peace, was doing y'all ass. All 4 of y'all was getting bopped up by Tim. One of y'all then branched off, slapped his lady like, bro, y'all niggas soft. I'm keeping this. Y'all need hands and discipline. Yo, let's get back into it, man. Rest in peace, that boy.
Of the recordings just wasn't good enough. However, they were able to determine several specific features of the shooter's outfit. He was wearing a leather-style cap with a gold emblem on the front, possibly a Louis Vuitton logo. Based on the logo on his chest and several smaller logos all over the shirt, it seemed that he was wearing a black Fendi Fila collab t-shirt. He was also wearing 2-tone jeans with 3 distinctive rips on the left thigh, and a pair of blue shoes with a white sole. The identity of the suspect was being revealed one puzzle piece at a time. But as far as tracking him down goes, the detectives were still at a dead end. They had no way of determining where the suspect went following the shooting. However, they could still try to determine where the suspect was before the shooting. They reversed the footage and tracked the suspect just down the street to Knight's Quick Stop. Okay. The suspect can be seen riding his bike out front before heading inside, at which point his outfit and face is much easier to make out. The investigators take screenshots of this footage and distribute them to law enforcement all around Charleston. Not long after, the police department received a call from a probation officer who believed he had once supervised the man in the picture. The detectives searched their internal database and social media for the name the probation officer provided and immediately struck gold. This is 18-year-old Shannon Johnson. Shannon loves to share photos of guns, money, and designer clothes, especially his Louis Vuitton cap. One picture in particular caught the detective's attention. This one. It appeared that Shannon had sent this to someone on the same evening as the murder. And that person posted it to their Facebook page and tagged him. Detectives were certain that this was their shooter. The question was, where was he now? One of the photos on his Facebook page showed him standing in front of an apartment complex. A detective assigned to the case knew exactly where this was, as he had responded to incidents there in the past. So law enforcement jumped in their police cruisers and rushed to the apartment complex. As the officers arrive at the complex, they immediately spot Shannon standing outside. But Shannon spots them too and takes off running. The officers chase him down, and just when they think he's cornered, he hops a fence into a cemetery. But at this point, the cemetery is surrounded. With nowhere to go, Shannon surrenders. After escorting him to the back of a police cruiser, he was then transported to the police station for questioning.
Sorry about that.
Hey, man.
So, what do you know about the shooting? Do you know what happened?
Shannon claims that he doesn't know anything about the shooting. However, he was in the general area, but stayed inside his car.
Brother, so just so I understand what we talked about for your day, you were there in a car, but only passing through. You were never out on foot that day.
No.
You were never out on foot? Okay.
I was out on foot going in the store, like...
Yeah, on King Street. But the east side, you were never out there that day on foot. And you remember that day. Yeah, like you said, you don't forget anything.
The person that was involved in the shooting, that person was killed.
All right, no, yeah, I knew that. I knew that.
That's what I'm asking you.
No, yeah, I knew that.
Kill, like a
I
person
saw,
in your life.
I saw that on Facebook.
Have you heard any kind of
Nope.
rumblings on Facebook about anybody that might have something to do with it
Accent.
or saw anything?
I can't tell though.
No. What can we do? What can we do to confirm your whereabouts that day?
That could be
At
a
this
Haiti
moment,
American
Shannon
accent.
realizes that he is a person of interest in murder and immediately becomes defensive.
Man, listen, I got alibis.
How are you helping yourself by not telling us your alibis?
How you mean, how am I helping myself?
You said you got alibis. You haven't told us an alibi.
I got alibis, but I ain't gonna need them, because this shit he must come across me. Why would he must do some dumb shit right there and cameras on the fucking store right there? This shit he must come across me. I ain't no dummy, and I ain't no slow leak. This shit he must come across me, for real. I don't know why they calling my name.
Shannon seems to be forgetting that about 20 minutes earlier, he
Brother,
spotted the police and immediately took
his
off
accent
running.
is
He knew
going
full well
crazy.
why they were there, and running from the cops didn't make him look any more innocent. Just in case Shannon truly doesn't know why he's a person of interest, the detectives revealed the store surveillance footage.
These are photos of you here?
This
This is you, right?
Yeah,
This is your hat, right?
all right, yeah. I had a hat like this, but it's not me.
It's not?
It's not me. That's not even much me in this picture. So what y'all talking about?
This isn't you right here?
No, that ain't me.
It's a mix
On my
between.
dad, on my dad uncle, on my dad whole family, whoever fucking dead. I tell you, I sell a hat for $200. I tell you. That's not me.
Overly
This not this
country
do not look
accent
like me,
mixed
bro.
with-
This do not even look like me.
I speak
But
French.
no, hell no. We ain't playing like that.
Whatever you say, Shannon. Since Shannon continued to be cryptic about his so-called alibis, the detectives continued to pressure him for more information. Clearly, this offends him.
You want an alibi, or you want an alibi? Cause y'all ain't trying to help me.
Shannon.
So do you want an alibi or what?
Shannon, sit down. That's not how we behave in here.
Man, I
Let's
can't.
talk. Let's just talk.
Y'all got me heated.
You're not intimidated.
I ain't got.
We
You ain't gotta be intimidated.
just need to talk.
You talking about?
Simple questions, okay?
Man, bro.
Very simple questions.
Shannon eventually gets tired of yelling at the detectives. He admits that the person
Does
in
he?
the footage is him.
What am I supposed to do? You lied to me about having a car for what reason? When I know you came on a bike.
Yeah, all right.
Right?
You're not showing me nothing.
What's the point?
You act like you showing me a whole damn travel line of white, innit? You're not showing me no. You can't say that I lying about a car, cause you ain't never see what all I done did that. Like, what you
Then
talking about?
why
Like,
have all this video and not
Oh my
never
God,
see
these
you never
captions
in a
are
car?
saving
Where's your car?
lives.
Where's the car?
What the
Tell
hell
me
is
and
he
I'll go find it.
saying?
I'm happy to go find it. But you can't, because there was no car.
you right.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And we can have an open line of communication here instead of beating
that's
around the
not-
bush
that's
about this
not
car that
patois.
never existed. Let's start over.
Now that Shannon is opening up, they get straight to the point.
I want you to tell me why you shot the man.
I ain't shoot that man.
You shot the man.
Man, I ain't shoot that man. I ain't kill that man, bro.
Listen.
I tell you, I ain't did none of that, bro. I did not shoot that man. I don't have no gun. I did not shoot this man.
That person that you just said is you, riding around on that bike outside.
Sound like a
We
Zoe to
got
me.
video of you as you travel all the way down Hanover, rapping or singing or whatever you're doing, shouting. We got video of you passing by the victim on your way south on Hanover to Columbus. You swing your bike around, come right up on the sidewalk, you get right up in this man's face. You start fighting, you start losing the fight, and then you shoot him.
Facts.
After the detectives give a perfect description of Shannon's
Getting beat
movements
up.
that day, Shannon realizes just how screwed he is. He admits defeat and explains how the incident with Tim played out.
I was minding my business. I look at him. I saw his mouth like going, like saying something. So I turned, I swing the bike around, and I be like, huh, what's up? And he be like, what's up? Like, what's up? Like, so I like, what's up? And then he swing on me first.
Shannon says that he didn't want to fight and mostly
Man,
tried to
please.
dodge Tim's attacks. But once Tim put him in a headlock, he began to fear for his life.
Yeah, I mean, the headlock. So when I in the headlock, I can't breathe. Like, I realize choking, can't breathe. So I thinking in my head, like, this dude trying to kill me.
Even though Shannon just provided the
released you,
detectives with a clear motive for shooting
Facts.
Tim, he insists that it was actually one of his friends who was the shooter.
You shot.
No, I did not. Man,
It was my cousin.
I did not kill him. I did not kill this man.
Shannon was
I cannot
steadfast
do
that
that
somebody else pulled the trigger. However, he repeatedly says things that make it sound like he was the one who killed Tim.
Man,
This is a
listen,
very
I feel
serious
sorry
matter.
for that man.
A man
and
lost his
I feel
life.
sorry for that man and his family. But I should not feel sorry for him. I shouldn't feel sorry for him. This man put his hands on me. This man swing on me first. This man tried to kill me first.
First before what?
Before his ass get killed from somebody. This man swing on me, bruh. This man he tried to kill me.
Does that mean
He tried to kill me. He tried to kill me. What you gonna do if somebody try to kill you? What you been gonna do? You been gonna shoot him in it?
That's not what happened here.
But you would have did that. I know you would have did that.
Before wrapping things up, the detective
Brother, you're missing the point. First and foremost, at the time when you had gun and did the And they doing a TikTok dance and catching bodies. What the fuck? They did the gun lean. Before you did the damn gun lean, you were not being choked by him anymore. Like, there was no choking happening, sir. So you saying that my life was in danger is just cap. It just is. You might have felt like you couldn't breathe because you was smelling armpit and because you was getting choked up. But brother, you could have got out of that and then got out of there. Also, it didn't seem like he started the fight. I'm gonna keep it a stack. It seemed like y'all walked up on him and was probably saying some things that people couldn't hear, but you spun back around. So once you spun back around the block to go confront him, he has every right to start protecting himself. Punch you in the face. So yeah, you lost me.
Detectives decided to show Shannon the footage of the shooting with the hopes that it would provoke a more accurate confession.
See, bro, that's that crazy shit, man.
What, the truth?
Take me, man. I'm ready to go.
Still denying it's you?
Bro, that is 5 shots. Yep.
I'm ready to go.
I just wanted to make sure you knew we're not trying to pull the wool over anyone's eyes here, okay?
Man, y'all got murder on him.
Yeah. He didn't make it.
No self-defense, no nothing. I'm ready to go, man.
Well, that would be your defense.
After his temper tantrum, Shannon is left in the room by himself while officers prepare to take him to his cell. While he waits, he starts singing Got You by Mobile Alabama rapper OMB Peasy.
The 1 time for the real, the 2 times for the thugs, the 3 times for my new pistol. I saw that bitch, I fell in love.
Shannon was charged with murder and possession of a weapon during a violent crime. He was locked up at the Al Cannon Detention Center and waived his right to a bond hearing. On August 11th, 2019, 3 days after Tim's death, a vigil was held in his honor.
Wow.
Candles and songs filled Hanover Street downtown tonight. It's a far cry from the sirens and lights covering the area just 3 days ago after 41-year-old Timothy Heyman Jr. was shot right outside of his home. He leaves behind a 5-year-old daughter.
We need to act. And if this isn't a call to action, I don't know what is.
It was not his
Those in the neighborhood came out for a vigil in honor of Heyman. They want his death to spark change in ending violent crime.
Because we're tired of the violence, senseless violence, and we want change in our neighborhood. We need to come together as a neighborhood and find solutions, positive solutions.
We're just not going to take this anymore. Why is someone at 7 o'clock at night on a bike with a gun shooting people on our streets? That's unacceptable. We need to do better.
As you can see, this murder was the last straw for many when it came to violent crime in Charleston. In response to the public's demand for change, the city held a public meeting to discuss gun violence and gun safety.
Now, Mayor John Tecklenburg has teamed up with local residents to come up with this meeting and talk about initiatives and ways to help improve the community and take a stand against violence.
As for Tim's family, the community banded together to help them through this difficult time. His workplace, the Darling Oyster, where he was a sous chef, held a dinner service fundraiser where 100% of the proceeds were given to his daughter, Isabella. Not only that, but a Facebook event called Timo's Daughter was created and raised over $12,000 for Isabella as well. Leading up to Shannon's trial, he was offered several plea deals, but he declined them all. So in December of 2022, his trial began. Part of the defense's strategy was to stand behind Shannon's claim that he was afraid for his life and killed Tim in the heat of the moment. They hoped that this would get his charge reduced from murder to voluntary manslaughter, which carried a lesser sentence. But the prosecution simply pointed to the 34 seconds between when the fight broke up and when the trigger was pulled. They insisted that Shannon had maliciously and deliberately killed Tim. After a 4-day trial, both sides rested their case.
Now, it was an emotional day for those who knew Hammond in the courtroom. I spoke to some family and friends who even came in from out of town to be here. They're hoping to get answers tomorrow as the jury begins deliberating.
The jury had reached a verdict after only 2 hours of deliberation.
We, the jury, unanimously find the defendant Shannon Lamont Zaquan Johnson on the charge of murder guilty.
Before Shannon's sentence, Tim's loved ones poured their hearts out during their impact statements.
August 8, 2019 was probably one of the worst days of my life, and I didn't know when I woke up. I can vividly recall my other sister calling me, crying me in tears and agony, screaming, Tim's gone, Tim's gone. And I go, Tim's gone. I just suddenly collapsed, and I just yelled, this can't be true.
And the whole time I've been sitting here, I wanted to be angry and upset with you. If Timmy was here, I'd probably forgive you. Probably tell you that you can change your life and it's not too late.
Damn, Tim was a real indigo.
I forgive you. I do. I'm not going to hold that hate in my heart for you. You know, honestly, you don't deserve that space.
Shannon Johnson was sentenced to 50 years in prison for the murder of Timothy Hammond Jr. Tim's family was overjoyed to finally get justice.
I'm so happy. That means that we got justice for my son. He didn't deserve. He didn't deserve what happens. And as sad as it is to think that somebody's going to spend the next 50 years locked up, you have your actions have
Oh, his
consequences.
mom got a heart too.
Got what he deserved.
Tragically, Christina was not able to share that joy because 1 year before Shannon's trial, on November 4th, 2021, this happened.
We've got breaking news out of North Charleston where 2 people have been arrested in connection with what North Charleston police call a deadly road rage shooting. Officers say Parker Gore shot into Austin Falls.
Yeah, nah, bro. Y'all gotta get rid of Charleston. I'm sorry. They need to just reconstruct that whole city. The fuck? What the fuck? What is going on? What is happening? Brother, this is tragic.
Faltermeyer's vehicle, killing a woman passenger. They say it began on I-26 when Gore saw Faltermeyer crash into a car. Gore took off after him. Police say the two then crashed into each other, then got off of the interstate onto East Montague Avenue. Officers say that's when Faltermeyer crashed into Gore again, and Gore started shooting. A woman inside Faltermeyer's car was killed. A child was also in the car. Gore is charged with manslaughter, while Faltermeyer is charged with assault and battery.
Some breaking news to tell you about out of Charleston County. We just learned the name of the person who police say was shot and killed in a road rage shooting in North Charleston yesterday. The Charleston County coroner has identified her as 32-year-old Christina Colon.
5 shots were fired from Parker Gore's gun, hitting Christina in the neck and shoulder. When first responders arrived, it was too late. Christina had bled out. In the back seat, they found Isabella. The driver, Austin Faltermeyer, was heavily intoxicated. During their bond hearing, Parker and Austin were berated by Christina's father, Ed Colon, who seemed more dumbfounded at their stupidity than sad.
If you want to stop, and the 7-year-old told me they would tell him to stop, and he kept drinking, kept doing shots. He was asked to stop by a 7-year-old who saw her father murdered 2 years ago. And to shoot my daughter, no less. Why wouldn't you shoot the driver?
Facts.
Why wouldn't you shoot the driver? She's a woman. Behind the windows were closed. You weren't involved to begin with. And you shot my daughter through a window, a closed window.
Parker's defense team claimed that he was merely acting in self-defense and blamed Austin for Christina's death.
But we take the position that he was lawfully defending himself from a weapon being a moving vehicle.
Following the incident, Christina's family...
No. Now, while there's things that could have happened to prevent this tragedy, that dickhead not drinking, that dickhead not driving, her not being with that dickhead, I understand road rage, blah, 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 blah. Brother, you get away from him. You get away from him. You escape the road rage. It's literally in a defensive driving class. If you take a defensive driving class, they're gonna be like, yeah, the best thing to do in cases of somebody with road rage, you get away from them. So yeah, no. Also, okay, cool. You say self-defense from the moving vehicle. She wasn't driving the vehicle. So that's out the window for me. If I was a juror, he's cooked. And that's on God, because you're capping. We could be like, oh, well, not everybody can aim, and he shouldn't have that fucking gun. You can't aim, you shouldn't have the gun. Now let's get into it. What?
Family started a GoFundMe to support Isabella's future, which raised over $8,000. Parker's charges were ultimately dropped. His actions were deemed as self-defense because the other driver was using his car as a weapon. Austin Faltermeyer's charges are still pending. As for Shannon Johnson, he is appealing his conviction. He currently resides at the Lieber Correctional Institution.
He didn't hit the driver. Yeah, I'm never going to South Carolina in my life. He did not hit the driver. He did not shoot the driver. The driver was the one that made the car a weapon. He made the vehicle a weapon when he was driving it. Nigga, she wasn't driving. Therefore, you did not act in self-defense because, nigga, what? The only one that you could have stopped was the driver, and you stopped the person who had no control of the vehicle. Got it. Yeah, okay. There are idiots in South Carolina. What the fuck? I'm sorry. There's no way that you're going to convince me. Yeah, but it was in self-defense. In a way, but nigga, you didn't hit the target. Man, hit the target. At least give him a 5 for reckless endangerment, nigga. Something.
in Ridgeville, South Carolina. He has a track record of 3 major disciplinary sanctions a year for the past 3 years, for things like possession of a weapon, possession of escape tools, and according to his record, committing unspecified felonies. He is projected to be released from prison in the year 2069. With both of Isabella's parents gone, she was adopted by her grandfather Ed. She loves puzzles, Lego, and making art, including Mother's Day gifts for Christina. According to Ed, she is a mini-me version of her mom in every way.
Okay, so that was the end of the video. Rest in peace to Christina. To the well, he was a young black man at the time, but I mean he's probably like 25 now. To the aging black man that's stuck in prison, why, brother? Your pride? Is that why you couldn't take getting beat up over something you started? Because again, you were saying something to him, past him, spun around like, well, I got weapon on him, so what he doesn't know, if it goes left, I'm hurting him. Spin back with bike and then proceed to get into a confrontation that never needed to happen. I already spoke on the drunk driver situation. My buddy who was driving the vehicle is a dickhead because again, why are you doing this? Like, Christina's father was on his ass, rightfully so. And again, to the person who got Christina up out of here, you're ridiculous. Self-defense, I guess, sure, maybe. Like, brother, you didn't hit the driver. The driver was the one making the vehicle a weapon. You didn't hit the driver. Right? You didn't defend yourself well. That was horrible self-defense because you didn't defend yourself at all because you didn't hit the driver. You're dumb. If anything, shoot the tire, but then the whole car might have flipped. How did he have enough aim to hit Shorty ass while he was aiming at the driver? You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm confused. There's so many things going through my head with that. But rest in peace, Christina. Christina, rest in peace. Damn, I got a list. Rest in peace, Christina. Rest in peace, Tim. Very, very tragic story. Condolences to the families. That's the end of the video. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share the video, share your thoughts on the video in the comment section below. Hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date when I drop videos on this channel. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Stay safe, y'all.
Would you take this dance from? Look, baby, you got your man. You ever stumble by the sound? She got my hand, we doing spins in the sand. Got me in the trance, moves way too advanced. I'm a novice in this dance. You got friends.